Let me start by being brutally honest. Most men today are completely blind when it comes to understanding what they should actually expect from a woman. And I don't mean superficial stuff. Her looks, her Instagram pictures, or how she dresses. I'm talking about the deeper things that truly matter in a relationship. The things that can either make your life exponentially better or destroy it completely. Here's the truth. If you're not getting the value you deserve from a woman, it's not always because she's wrong or immature. Sometimes it's because men themselves don't know what real value looks like, or worse. They settle for less because they've been told they have to. Society has fed men a bunch of nonsense about being nice or not too picky, and as a result, men often settle for mediocrity while thinking it's love. Now, I know this is controversial, but it needs to be said. Relationships are a two-way street, and both parties have to bring something substantial to the table. I'm not talking about money or status alone. I'm talking about qualities that build respect, loyalty, and long-term fulfillment. Too many men spend their lives chasing women who don't have these qualities, only to wonder why they feel unfulfilled, exhausted, or emotionally drained. Here's the cold, hard truth. A woman's value isn't measured by how often she says, "I love you," or how well she cooks. A woman's value is about what she adds to your life beyond the surface level. The qualities that make you want to show up every day, work harder, and grow into the best version of yourself. And let me warn you, this is where a lot of men fail. They ignore the red flags. They overlook the absence of real qualities, and they confuse temporary excitement for long-term satisfaction. Think about it. Why do some relationships last while others fall apart in less than a year? It's not always about love. It's about the value each person contributes. You can love someone, but if she doesn't bring the right qualities to the table, you're building a house on sand. And yes, I'm going to be controversial here. A lot of men tolerate women who are toxic, lazy, or self-centered, simply because they're afraid of being alone, or because they've been fed lies about unconditional love. I want you to stop lying to yourself. Stop excusing behaviors that don't serve you. Stop thinking that just because someone looks good or says all the right things, she's actually bringing value to your life. A woman can be attractive, charming, and fun, but if she's not contributing real substance, it won't matter in 5 years. You'll feel empty. You'll feel frustrated. You'll feel like something is missing. And the worst part, you'll blame yourself instead of admitting the uncomfortable truth. This video is about giving men the clarity they need. I'm going to show you the 7 most important things a woman should bring to the table based on female psychology, life experience, and real-world observation. These are not opinions or tips pulled from a self-help book. These are the qualities that separate women who enhance your life from women who quietly drain it. Some of this might feel harsh or even controversial. You might feel challenged or even uncomfortable as you start thinking about your past relationships. That's exactly the point. Growth never comes from comfort. The men who thrive in relationships, the ones who are happy, respected, and fulfilled, are not men who settle. They're men who understand value, recognize it when they see it, and refuse to accept less than they deserve. By the end of this video, you're going to have a clear blueprint, a mental checklist you can use to evaluate the women in your life. And here's the kicker. This isn't about controlling her or expecting perfection. It's about mutual benefit. Relationships should feel like a partnership, not a burden. If you bring value, she should too. If she doesn't, it's your responsibility to notice it and make the right decisions for your future. So, if you're ready to face some uncomfortable truths, if you're ready to stop settling, and if you're ready to actually understand female psychology in a way most men never will, then this is your wake-up call. Don't scroll away. Don't ignore this. It's too important. Because the reality is this: the wrong woman in your life can silently steal years of your happiness without you even realizing it, while the right woman can elevate every aspect of your life. And understanding the difference. That's power. In the next sections, we're going to break down the 7 essential things a woman should bring to the table, why each one matters, and how to recognize them in real life. I'll give you actionable insights so that you can make better decisions in your relationships, avoid wasting your time, and finally start attracting the kind of partnership that actually fulfills you. 1. Emotional intelligence. The ability to handle emotions like a grown woman. Let's start with something most men completely underestimate. Emotional intelligence. You can date someone who's beautiful, funny, and fun, but if she doesn't know how to manage her emotions, you're in for endless drama. I'm talking about the type of woman who can stay calm during a disagreement, who communicates clearly instead of exploding, and who doesn't let every little thing ruin her day or yours. Here's the hard truth. Emotional intelligence isn't about suppressing feelings or pretending everything is fine. It's about knowing how to respond instead of react, about understanding that your actions and words have consequences, and about being able to navigate life's challenges without creating unnecessary chaos. A woman who lacks this will drain you faster than anything else. She might be sweet 1 minute and explosive the next, leaving you constantly walking on eggshells. Think about it like this. If you're building a life with someone, you need stability. You need someone who can handle stress without turning it into a full-blown emotional storm. If she can't, it doesn't matter how amazing she looks. Her instability will seep into every part of your life, from your mood to your productivity. Men often overlook this because they mistake drama for passion. But here's the truth. Real women who add value don't thrive on chaos. They thrive on balance. Here's an example. Imagine you've had a rough day at work. Deadlines, pressure, and stress piled up. And all you want when you get home is some peace and support. A woman with emotional intelligence will notice your tension and respond in a way that helps, not escalates. She might ask, "Hey, how was your day?" and actually listen without judgment or criticism. She might suggest relaxing together or giving you space if you need it. She understands that your stress isn't an attack on her and that she can contribute positively by staying calm and supportive. Contrast that with someone who lets every small thing trigger a fight. She's upset about trivial matters, lashes out over minor annoyances, and makes you feel guilty for being tired or stressed. Eventually, you start walking on eggshells, hiding your feelings, and suppressing your needs just to avoid conflict. This isn't love. This isn't partnership. This is emotional chaos, and men who settle for it are setting themselves up for long-term unhappiness. The controversial part here, many men think emotional intelligence is soft or not a priority. Some even think, as long as she's attractive and fun, that's enough. That's a huge mistake. Emotional intelligence is the backbone of any relationship that lasts beyond the first 6 months. A woman who can't manage her emotions will eventually turn small problems into huge fights, misunderstandings into resentment, and simple disagreements into arguments that drain your energy and your desire to invest in the relationship. You also need to understand that emotional intelligence is not about perfection. Noon is perfect. A woman with real value will sometimes make mistakes or get frustrated, but the difference is how she responds. She owns her mistakes, communicates honestly, and doesn't make you feel like you're walking into a war zone every time she's upset. She can navigate her emotions without making you feel like the problem. That is rare, and that is powerful. Let's bring this to life another way. Think about a night when you've planned a special dinner or outing. Everything seems perfect, but something small goes wrong. Maybe traffic made you late, or the restaurant messed up your order. A woman with emotional intelligence will handle the hiccup gracefully. She might joke, stay positive, or help find a solution without letting frustration take over. But a woman without it, she turns the night into a disaster, complains endlessly, and leaves you frustrated instead of enjoying the moment. The difference is night and day. Here's the bottom line. Emotional intelligence in a woman is non-negotiable. If you want a relationship that doesn't suck the life out of you, it's not just about being nice or polite. It's about being able to handle yourself and the inevitable ups and downs of life without creating chaos for the man in your life. If she can't do that, she's costing you far more than you realize. Peace of mind, energy, and even your emotional growth. So as a man, pay attention to how she responds to stress, conflict, and disappointment. Notice whether she communicates openly or manipulates emotions to get her way. Observe if she contributes to calm and balance or adds to tension and drama. These things aren't sexy, but they're what make a relationship sustainable. And let me be clear, you're not being controlling or picky by expecting this. You're being smart. You're protecting your happiness, your mental health, and your life. Emotional intelligence is the first thing every man should demand from a woman. Without it, nothing else she brings, looks, charm, or even affection, will truly matter. But with it, you're building the foundation for a partnership that's strong, supportive, and actually worth investing in. 2. Ambition. The drive to grow, not just float through life. Let's be honest, most men underestimate ambition in women. They think as long as a woman has a job, shows up on time, and posts cute pictures on social media, she's good enough. That's a dangerous mindset. Relationships are about building a life together, and if the woman by your side isn't striving for something bigger, she can unintentionally hold you back. Ambition isn't just about chasing a career or earning a big paycheck. It's about having a sense of purpose, direction, and drive. It's about wanting more from life and not being satisfied with mediocrity. You want someone who wants to grow mentally, emotionally, and even spiritually. Someone who pushes herself to be better, not someone who floats along and waits for life to happen to her. You know the kind of woman I mean. She's the one who talks about her goals, challenges herself, and isn't afraid to take risks. She's constantly learning, exploring new ideas, and improving herself. She doesn't need you to motivate her to do anything. She's already on her own path of growth, and she's bringing that energy into their relationship. That kind of woman inspires you, challenges you, and makes you want to rise up as well. Now contrast that with a woman who has no real drive. She's content with the bare minimum, complains about life, and doesn't take responsibility for her own growth. She'll talk endlessly about dreams without taking action. She'll make excuses for why things can happen. And she'll often expect you to carry not just yourself, but her motivation as well. That gets exhausting fast. You start to feel like you're dating a passenger, not a partner. Ambition also reflects mindset. A woman with real drive will handle setbacks differently. She won't crumble when things get tough or blame others for her circumstances. She'll see challenges as opportunities, not as reasons to give up. That attitude changes everything because life is full of setbacks. A woman who can't handle failure, disappointment, or difficulty is going to drag you into unnecessary stress. Think about daily life. How does she approach her time, her relationships, and her responsibilities? Is she proactive, organized, and determined to grow? Or is she reactive, disorganized, and content to coast? These traits might seem small, but they accumulate. Every habit, every choice, every decision she makes adds up over time. If she's ambitious, she contributes to a life of growth, progress, and shared success. If she's not, she contributes to stagnation, frustration, and wasted potential. Ambition is also about vision. A woman with ambition sees beyond the present moment. She plans, she dreams, and she takes action toward long-term goals. That vision isn't just about her. It reflects the kind of partnership she wants. A woman who thinks ahead will naturally look for a man who matches her energy, drive, and vision. If she's lacking ambition, she'll likely drag the relationship into mediocrity because she doesn't know or care to aim higher. Here's the uncomfortable truth many men don't realize. Relationships are mirrors. You become like the person you spend the most time with. If you're with someone ambitious, you're inspired, challenged, and motivated to improve. If you're with someone who lacks drive, you slowly start settling too, lowering your own standards without even noticing it. That's why this is so critical. Ambition in a woman isn't just about her life. It's about the trajectory of your shared life together. And let's get real, ambition is rare. Most women, like most men, are caught in comfort zones, settling, waiting, hoping for things to fall into place. The difference is the woman who refuses to settle, who refuses to let life pass her by, who fights to create something meaningful. That's the woman worth keeping. She'll challenge you, elevate you, and make you want to become a better version of yourself every day. So, as a man, pay attention to this. Notice how she approaches challenges, how she speaks about her future, how she invests in herself. Notice whether she's content with just showing up or whether she's actively creating a life she's proud of. Those are the women who add true value to our relationship. Those are the women who will elevate your life without even trying. Ambition isn't optional if you want a healthy, fulfilling partnership. It's a cornerstone of respect, inspiration, and long-term satisfaction. The right woman won't just keep up with you, she'll push you forward. And that, more than anything, is priceless. 3. Independence. The ability to stand on her own 2 feet. Let's get real for a moment. Too many men today are chasing women as if they need rescuing, as if their sole purpose is to fill gaps in your life or fix problems you can't handle. Here's the wake-up call. A woman who depends on you for her identity, her happiness, or her stability is not bringing value to theatre ball. She's bringing baggage. And if you let that slide, you're essentially signing up for a lifetime of stress, frustration, and compromise that benefits her more than it does you. Independence in a woman is about self-sufficiency. It's about being able to handle life's challenges without leaning on you for every decision, every emotion, and every financial or emotional need. A woman who is independent doesn't need you to validate her every choice or prop up her confidence. She doesn't require constant reassurance or clinginess. Instead, she contributes strength, stability, and maturity to the relationship. Now, let me be controversial. Many men confuse independence with being cold, distant, or unloving. They think, if she can handle life on her own, maybe she doesn't need me. That's a weak mindset. The truth is, independence is attractive because it shows she's not a burden. She's secure in herself. And that security allows her to love you freely, without fear, neediness, or desperation. When a woman is independent, she complements you. She doesn't compete with you. She doesn't drain your energy, and she doesn't force you to carry her life for her. Here's a harsh reality many to hear. If you're chasing women who can't stand on their own, you're wasting your time. You're essentially signing up to carry someone who should be carrying herself. You think you're in a relationship, but really you're an arrow that makes you a parent, counselor, or financial crutch instead of a partner. Wake up. Your life, your energy, and your growth deserve better. Independence also reflects emotional and mental maturity. A woman who is truly independent can handle her own stress, make her own decisions, and recover from setbacks without dragging you into every problem. She can communicate clearly about her needs without turning them into demands. She has her own goals, her own passions, and her own life outside the relationship. That doesn't make her less committed. It makes her more valuable because she's not relying on you to define her existence. You can probably relate to this without even thinking. Maybe you've been with someone who constantly needed validation, someone who turned minor setbacks into major crises, or someone who demanded attention and support at the cost of your own energy. At first, you tolerated it because you liked her, but over time, you realized how exhausting it was. That's what a lack of independence does. It slowly eats away at your patience, your happiness, and your self-respect. Here's a reality check many men avoid. If a woman is too dependent, she will always hold power over you. The power to make you feel guilty, the power to control your mood, the power to make you doubt yourself. Independence flips that dynamic. An independent woman doesn't seek control over you. She seeks a partnership where both of you stand tall, support each other, and grow together. That's rare, and it's exactly what most men aren't trained to look for. So, men, take this as a challenge. Start noticing how women handle their own lives. Do they take responsibility for their actions and choices? Or do they constantly look to you for direction and support? Do they have their own passions, their own friends, and their own purpose outside of your relationship? Or is everything centered around you? The answers to these questions will reveal whether she's actually bringing value or simply adding weight to your life. Independence is not about being distant or unloving. It's about strength, self-sufficiency, and the ability to contribute meaningfully to a partnership without relying on you to complete her. Men who fail to recognize this are often stuck in exhausting cycles with women who drain them emotionally and mentally. Wake up. Stop settling for someone who can't stand on her own. The right woman isn't asking you to carry her life. She's walking beside you as an equal. And when you find that, you'll realize that independence is one of the most powerful qualities a woman can bring to Thetball. Here's the part most people won't tell you, and it's going to sound harsh, but it's the truth. Most men are settling for women who are beneath their standard, and they don't even realize it. Think about that for a second. You spend time, energy, and emotions investing in someone who isn't giving you the kind of partnership you deserve, and you excuse it with lines like, "She's sweet," or "She loves me." That's not love. That's compromised, disguised as affection, and it's silently killing your potential to experience a life-changing relationship. I want you to wake up to this reality. If the woman in your life isn't bringing real value, emotional intelligence, ambition, independence, loyalty, respect, consistency, and the kind of energy that pushes you to grow, then you're basically living a life that someone else could have stolen from you, and you're allowing it. Most men look around and compare themselves to other men who are equally complacent, thinking, "Well, at least I have someone." That is the worst trap you can fall into. You deserve more. You deserve better. And until you start demanding, you're going to continue attracting the same level of mediocrity. Here's the controversial truth. If you're not honest with yourself about what she brings to the table, you're the problem, not her. Yes, that might sting. It's uncomfortable, but it's true. Too many men spend their lives blaming women for shortcomings in their relationships, when in reality, the men themselves didn't know what to look for. They didn't set standards. They didn't recognize value. And they didn't hold anyone accountable, including themselves. Wake up. Stop expecting life to hand you a perfect woman if you're not willing to recognize and demand the qualities that matter. Now, I'm not saying a woman should be perfect. Perfection doesn't exist. And if that's what you're looking for, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. But the right woman brings more than just charm or beauty. She brings substance. She elevates you instead of holding you back. She challenges you instead of tolerating you. She builds a life alongside you instead of waiting for you to carry her existence. If she's not doing these things, no amount of sweetness or attention will ever make up for the missing foundation. And here's the kicker. Most men avoid admitting settling for less isn't just harming your relationships. It's harming you. It's harming your growth, your confidence, and your ability to recognize real value when it comes into your life. I want you to reflect on your past relationships. Think about the women you've dated, the patterns you've allowed, and the compromises you made. Were they truly adding to your life, or were they draining it? Did they challenge you to be better, or did they make it easier to stay stagnant? Be honest with yourself, and when you see the truth, don't run from it. Use it. That awareness is the first step toward transformation. Here's what I want from you after watching this video. Comment below with your experiences. Share the things you've noticed, the patterns you've fallen into, and the lessons you've learned. I read every single comment, and I personally reach out when I see men who are ready to take their growth seriously. I want to create a connection with you because this isn't just a video. It's a wake-up call. And if you're willing to face the uncomfortable truths, I'll help you see how to shift your perspective, set the standards you deserve, and finally start attracting the kind of women who will truly bring value to your life. Let me leave you with this final controversial thought. The reason most men are unhappy in relationships isn't because women are bad or broken. It's because men themselves are blind to real value, too afraid to demand it, and too comfortable settling for mediocrity. That's why relationships fail, why men feel drained, and why cycles repeat over and over again. Wake up! Don't be another man stuck in the trap of excuses and compromises. Recognize what matters, demand it, and refuse to settle for anything less than a partnership that truly elevates your life. Remember, growth starts with awareness, but it doesn't end there. Take what you've learned today, apply it, and hold yourself accountable. And if you've seen yourself in this, comment below. I'll read it. I'll reach out, and we'll start a conversation that might change the way you approach relationships forever, because the truth is uncomfortable, controversial, and often ignored, but it's the only thing that will push you to stop settling and start thriving.